When you're welding a secondary pipe and your fishing rod won't lift because of undercut on the upper side. Solving this problem is actually quite simple. Today, I'll share 2 tips with you. Pay close attention. First, you need to understand whether they undercut and bulging on the upper side are due to insufficient wire addition, causing the rod to not lift, or because the molten iron is sagging. These are 2 completely different issues. If you confuse these 2 issues, you definitely won't be able to lift it properly. First, what does adding wire mean? How much wire should we add? The correct addition amount is to place the welding wire slightly above the middle of the weld bead. When you're moving the welding rod upwards, remember not to swing it to the top and stop before adding more wire. If you use a needle tip swish to stop at the weld bead, your wire. If you try to add more wire, you'll find that it's stuck and won't go in. What do you do then? That's because your method is wrong. You don't understand. If you swing the wire to the top edge and stop, and then try to add more wire, you'll find that it won't go in. So how should you add wire? Let's all look carefully. When my wire tip swings to the halfway point of the weld bead, what shape is my wire tip? It's actually a small, scattered shape. This is my wire tip. My wire tip is scattered. See? If you let your wire tip swing to the top edge and stop, and then try to add more wire, you'll find that the wire has already been moved past the weld bead, and you can't add more wire. This is a major reason why you can't add wire. So how do you add wire? The welding process is smooth. Look closely, my friend. When I swing the tip of my welding torch to the middle of the weld, my arc doesn't even need to melt the welding wire anymore. At this point, you need to prepare to add wire. When you bring the welding wire upwards, this process involves adding it inwards. You'll find that you can easily add it in. When your welding torch swings back to the previous clear flow, the welding is already complete. It's not about stopping at the top and then adding more, which would be too late. That's the first correct way to add wire. Now, the second reason. Some students have asked, "Teacher, why do I still get bulges next time?" Let me share another little trick with you. When you swing the torch, don't let the welding torch swing straight up and down. This way, you'll find your solder joint tends to sag more downwards. So when we are soldering upwards, we'll use less upwards and more downwards, creating a zigzag pattern in the solder pool. This way, each solder pool will follow the previous one, preventing bulging on the lower side. Combined with the humidifying effect of the coloring process and the anti-bulging measures, it's difficult to have a bad solder joint. Next, we'll demonstrate a high absorption solder pool. Adjust the current to 150 to 160 ohms. Don't set it too low, or you'll find